First, you hear the screams. Then moments later, you see the first responders. They're heading 2 doors down to this home where 27-year-old Lyric Backus and her 7-year-old son Deuce were found dead in the garage.
It was just mayhem. Everybody out here crying, screaming. The cops was out here, they taped it off.
I need y'all to sit down for this one, because what happened to Lyric Backus and her 7-year-old son is the type of tragedy that makes you want to check every corner of your house tonight. Like, for real, for real. Now listen, we all know social media be having us thinking everybody living their best life, right? But sometimes behind all them pretty posts and business success stories, there's real people with real lives. And baby Lyric Backus was as real as they come. This young queen built herself a whole fashion empire on Instagram, touched over 65,000 people with her authentic energy, and was out here being a bomb mom to her little boy. But here's the thing that's gonna mess you up. This ain't just about likes and followers and all that digital stuff. Nah, this is about a mother and her baby whose lives got cut short on what was supposed to be the happiest day of the year. February 9th, 2024, that was Lyric's 28th birthday. And Chile, it should have been nothing but celebration vibes. Instead, that became the day that shook a whole community in Texas and left thousands of people online asking, how did this happen? When 28-year-old Lyric and her 7-year-old son Deuce were found dead in their Seagoville home. It wasn't just 2 lives lost, it was a wake-up call about something that could be lurking in any of our homes right now. So what happened? How does a young entrepreneur who seemed to have it all figured out end up in a situation like this? And why should every single person watching this video be paying attention to this story? Let me tell you something, by the time we're done here, you're gonna understand exactly why this case matters. And you might just save your own life in the process. But first, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for Trending Tragedies. We got stories that'll keep you up at night. All right, y'all, let's talk about who Lyric Backus really was before everything went left. Born February 9th, 1996, right here in Texas. And honey, this girl came into the world with that entrepreneur spirit already locked and loaded. Now see, Lyric wasn't one of them overnight Instagram success stories that be popping up every other week. Nah, she was different. While other folks was chasing viral moments and doing the most for some likes, Lyric was over here playing the long game. She understood something that a lot of these so-called influencers still don't get. It ain't about going viral, it's about going valuable. Her Instagram handle was @lyric.scloset. And let me tell you something, that wasn't just some random cute name she threw together. That was her vision, her brand, her whole mood. Scloset represented something deeper than just another fashion page. This was Lyric saying, I see y'all out here struggling to look fly while juggling work, kids, bills, and life. Let me help you out. But hey, what made Lyric stand out in a sea of fashion influencers? She kept it 100, always. While other people was posting them perfect, unrealistic lifestyle shots, Lyric was showing the real, the struggles of being a single mom, the ups and downs of running your own business, the everyday moments that made her just like us. That authenticity, that's what had people really rocking with her. By the time everything happened, she had built up about 65,000 followers on Instagram. Now I know what some of y'all thinking. That ain't that much compared to some of these big influencers. But listen, it ain't about the numbers, it's about the connection. These wasn't just random people double tapping her pics. These was real customers, real supporters, real people who trusted her enough to spend their hard-earned money on what she was selling. And the way she ran her business, girl, she had it down to a science. Regular hours, closed on Sundays and Mondays like she had some respect for herself and her time. She wasn't one of them 24/7 hustlers burning themselves out. She carefully picked every single piece she sold because she knew her followers trusted her taste. When Lyric said something was worth buying, people believed her. What I respect most about her approach was that she wasn't trying to sell nobody some impossible dream. She was selling clothes that worked for real women living real lives. Working moms, college students, young professionals. She understood her audience because she was her audience. That's what made Scloset more than just another online boutique. It was a community. Now let's talk about what really mattered to Lyric. Being mama to her baby boy Deuce. Y'all, if you ever looked at her content, you could see that being a mother wasn't just part of her life. It was the center of everything she did. Deuce was 7 years old, a first grader at Seagoville North Elementary School. And according to everyone who knew him, this little boy had the type of smile that could light up any room he walked into. His personality was just as bright as his mama's, outgoing, playful, the type of kid that made friends everywhere he went. The neighbors used to see him outside playing with the other kids in their Seagoville community, and his presence just brought joy to the whole block. But here's what I loved about how Lyric handled being a mom on social media. She was protective but real. Like, she would share moments with Deuce, show their adventures together, let people see that beautiful bond they had. But she wasn't out here exploiting her child for content like some of these other parents be doing. She kept it classy, kept it appropriate, and always put his well-being first. For Lyric, being an entrepreneur and being a mother wasn't two separate things she was trying to balance. Nah, they was connected. She used to talk about wanting to build something that would give Deuce security for his future while showing him what hard work and creativity could accomplish. Her business success wasn't just about her. It was about creating opportunities for her family. And let me tell you something, the way these two connected, you could see it in every single post they was in together. Whether it was just them having dinner, going to the park, celebrating birthdays, or just regular everyday moments, that love was genuine. Deuce wasn't just part of her content strategy. Baby was her inspiration, her motivation, her everything. People who followed her used to comment all the time about how natural she seemed as a mother. She didn't try to make it look easy or perfect. She showed the real, the learning, the growing, the beautiful mess that comes with raising a child. And that honesty connected with so many other parents who was going through the same thing. Moving on to what made their relationship special. Lyric understood that her role as Deuce's mama was bigger than any business she could build. That little boy was her legacy before skulls had ever existed, and he was going to be her legacy long after any fashion trend died out. So let's break down how Lyric really built Skullset into something special. Because what she did wasn't luck, it was strategy, it was smart, and it was sustainable. See, the fashion game online is crowded as hell. Everybody and their mama got a boutique, everybody selling clothes, everybody trying to be the next big thing. But Lyric approached it different. Instead of trying to be everything to everybody, she decided to be exactly what her people needed. Her whole approach was about curation over chaos. Rather than flooding her page with a million different pieces trying to catch every trend, she was selective. She picked items that she genuinely loved, that she knew would work for multiple occasions, that would fit different body types. When Lyric featured something, you knew she had personally looked at the quality, thought about the fit, considered how versatile it was. And here's the thing that separated her from a lot of other influencers. Her followers actually bought what she was selling, like regularly. We talking about real conversion rates, real business, real money. Many of these Instagram pages got hundreds of thousands of followers, but can't move product to save their lives. But Lyric had that trust factor locked down. Her posting strategy was consistent, but never overwhelming. She understood that quality beats quantity every single time. Every piece of content served a purpose, showcasing new arrivals, giving styling tips, or just connecting with her audience on a personal level. She wasn't just posting to fill up the feed. But what really set her apart was her customer service game. Girl, she was responsive in them DMs, answering questions about products, giving personalized styling advice, treating every customer like they mattered. That type of personal attention is what big brands spend millions trying to achieve, and Lyric was doing it naturally. The financial independence that Skullset gave her was everything, especially as a single mother. She could set her own schedule, be present for the important moments in Deuce's life, and still build something sustainable. That flexibility ain't something you get with traditional jobs, and Lyric knew exactly how valuable that was. So what made her business model work when so many others fail? It was the authenticity, the consistency, and the genuine care she had for her customers. She proved that you could build a successful business while keeping your integrity intact and your family priorities straight. That's rare in this game, and that's what made Lyric special. Now we're about to get to the part that's going to have you shook. So I need y'all to really pay attention because this is where everything went left. February 9th, 2024. This was supposed to be Lyric's 28th birthday, y'all. Picture it. Successful business owner, beautiful son, everything looking up. She should have been celebrating another year of life, another year of growth, another year of building her empire. Instead, this became the day that nobody saw coming. The morning started normal in the Backus house in Seagoville, Texas. Now, Seagoville, that's the type of suburban community where people actually know their neighbors, where kids can play outside safely, where families move to build that good life. Lyric had chose this spot specifically because it was the perfect environment to raise Deuce safe, community-oriented, family-friendly vibes. But listen, what happened next is going to mess you up because it shows how quick life can change without any warning signs. Both Lyric and Deuce were found unresponsive in the garage of their home. Think about that for a second. The garage, not somewhere you'd expect danger to be lurking. They was discovered by people who got concerned when they couldn't reach the family, and baby, what they found changed everything. Here's what the investigators and family members suspect: carbon monoxide poisoning. Now, let me tell you something about carbon monoxide, because this is where this story becomes about more than just Lyric and Deuce. This stuff is called the silent killer for a reason. It's completely colorless, completely odorless, and it can build up to deadly levels without you having any clue what's happening. The discovery sent shockwaves through their neighborhood. Like, the surveillance cameras from nearby houses caught the whole chaotic scene when emergency responders showed up, and neighbors started gathering, trying to understand what just happened. One neighbor described what they saw as mayhem, everybody out here crying and screaming. That tells you everything about how tight this community was and how much Lyric and Deuce meant to the people around them.
The screams. Then moments later, you see the first responders. They're heading 2 doors down to this home where 27-year-old Lyric Backus and her 7-year-old son Deuce were found dead in the garage.
It was just mayhem. Everybody out here crying, screaming. The cops was out here, they taped it off.
Backus's family believes the pair died from carbon monoxide poisoning. Police are waiting on autopsies before confirming.
This was the most people I ever seen out here at once.
Dion Loggins' home surveillance cameras captured the chaos Friday morning. He'd just gotten back from his morning run.
Yeah, I was concerned about the little boy, like, is he at school? Like, 'cause I know him and my daughter go to school right here.
Deuce was a first grader at Seagoville North Elementary. Monday, the school sent this letter home to parents, saying in part, "We extend our love and sympathy to their family at this time, and that they will have counselors on campus to help students and staff cope."
What a little boy had, I was like, oh, once I heard he was gone, that's what it hit me the most. I was like, oh, wow, like, he was just out here playing with my son, about a week ago.
Now Loggins is trying to figure out how to give his little boy the news.
It's just hard for me to have a 3-year-old son and have to tell him how he lost his first friend.
Friday was Lyric's birthday. She was a social media influencer. She had a clothing boutique and tens of thousands of followers. And across social media, tributes are pouring in, mourning her death.
Crazy.
In Seagoville, I'm Janelle Fort.
Chilly, the fact that this happened on Lyric's birthday just adds another level of heartbreak to something that was already devastating. What should have been candles and cake and celebration became a day that this community will never forget for all the wrong reasons. The fact that both mama and son were found together in that garage, we may never know exactly why they were in there. Maybe they was loading something in the car. Maybe there was some kind of issue they was checking on. Maybe they just went in there for reasons that seemed completely innocent at the time. But that's the thing about tragedies like this. They don't come with warnings. Y'all feeling this story? Drop a like and let me know in the comments if you check in your detectors after this. So now the Seagoville Police Department got to figure out exactly what happened. And let me tell you, investigating something like this ain't simple. The family suspected carbon monoxide poisoning based on where the bodies were found and the fact that there wasn't any obvious signs of trauma. But the police, they wasn't about to jump to conclusions. They had to examine everything properly before making any official statements. Here's the challenge with carbon monoxide cases. That gas dissipates quick, so by the time investigators get there, it's hard to measure what the levels actually were. They had to check every possible source in that garage, look for faulty equipment, try to piece together the timeline of what led to this tragedy. But while the investigation was happening, the community response was immediate, and it was overwhelming. Seagoville North Elementary School, where little Deuce was a first grader, they quickly brought in counselors to help the students and staff deal with losing their classmate. The school sent letters to parents trying to help them figure out how to explain something like this to young children. And y'all, one of the most heartbreaking parts was this neighbor who had to try to explain to his 3-year-old son why his friend Deuce wasn't coming out to play anymore. Like, how do you even begin to have that conversation with a baby who doesn't understand why his playmate just disappeared? The impact went way beyond just the physical community, though. Lyric's Instagram became like a memorial space where her followers were sharing memories, expressing condolences, trying to process losing someone they felt like they really knew. That's the thing about authentic content creators like Lyric. People don't just follow you, they connect with you. So when something happens, it feels personal. Local news picked up the story, and suddenly this wasn't just about one family's tragedy. This became a conversation about carbon monoxide safety, about the importance of having detectors in your home, about understanding the risks that might be hiding in spaces we think are safe. But here's what got me. The investigation is still ongoing. Authorities still waiting for complete autopsy results before they make any official determination about the cause of death. That careful approach might be frustrating for people who want answers right now, but it shows how complex these types of cases can be. Anyways, what this whole situation showed was how one tragedy can ripple out and touch so many different lives in ways you don't even expect. All right, y'all, we about to get into some information that could literally save your life. So I need everybody to pay attention because this part is crucial. Carbon monoxide poisoning kills hundreds of people every single year in the United States. And the crazy part, it's almost completely preventable if people just knew what to look out for. So what exactly is carbon monoxide? It gets produced whenever fuel burns incompletely. We talking about cars, trucks, boats, gas appliances, heating systems, generators, basically anything that burns fuel can potentially create this stuff. And remember, it's completely colorless and odorless, so you can be getting exposed to dangerous levels and have no idea something's wrong. Here's how it kills you. When you breathe in carbon monoxide, it binds to your blood way easier than oxygen does. So your blood stops carrying enough oxygen to your brain and your heart. At low levels, you might get headaches, feel tired, feel nauseous, symptoms that a lot of people mistake for the flu or food poisoning. But at higher levels, it can cause confusion, you might lose consciousness, and it can kill you. Now let's talk about why garages are so dangerous. Even when the garage door is open, running a car in an attached garage can let carbon monoxide seep into your house through small gaps and cracks. In a closed or partially closed garage, those concentrations can build up to deadly levels real quick. But here's what's going to make you mad. Carbon monoxide poisoning is almost entirely preventable. Carbon monoxide detectors cost less than $50, y'all. $50, and they can give you early warning when dangerous levels get detected. These should be installed on every level of your home and tested regularly to make sure they're working. A lot of people don't realize that carbon monoxide can also come from faulty heating systems, blocked vents, or appliances that ain't been maintained properly. Regular maintenance of your gas appliances, heating systems, and vehicles can prevent a lot of potential sources. The Centers for Disease Control got some recommendations that everybody needs to follow. Install carbon monoxide detectors, get your fuel burning appliances inspected every year, never use portable generators inside your house or garage, never run vehicles in attached garages, even with the doors open, and if multiple people in your household start having flu-like symptoms at the same time, get medical attention immediately. Let me tell you something. After what happened to Lyric and Deuce, you should be checking your carbon monoxide detectors tonight. For real, for real. Memorial services for Lyric and Deuce were held February 23rd and 24th, 2024, giving their community, both the people who knew them in person and the people who followed them online, a chance to come together and honor their lives. The services were at Eternal Rest Funeral Home, and burial was at Lincoln Memorial Cemetery. But what really stood out was who showed up. Family members, childhood friends, business associates, neighbors, Deuce's classmates and teachers, and even some of Lyric's social media followers who felt like they needed to pay their respects in person. That mix of people showed just how many different ways Lyric had connected with folks throughout her life. During the services, people shared memories that painted the full picture of who Lyric was beyond what people saw on Instagram. They talked about her loyalty as a friend, her determination as an entrepreneur, her creativity in building her business, and most importantly, her devotion as a mother. The stories about Deuce focused on his joyful spirit, his friendships with other kids, and all the potential that got cut short. In the weeks and months after they passed, Lyric's business legacy kept impacting her followers. People started sharing photos of themselves wearing items they had bought from Skloset, turning their memorial posts into celebrations of Lyric's eye for style and her ability to help other women feel confident and beautiful. But the tragedy also sparked important conversations about carbon monoxide safety. Local fire departments started getting more calls asking about carbon monoxide detectors. Hardware stores noticed higher sales of these devices. So in a way, Lyric and Deuce's deaths potentially prevented similar tragedies in other families. The most important part of Lyric's legacy, though, it's a reminder about the importance of authenticity in our digital world. In a time when social media promotes fake perfection and manufactured lifestyles, Lyric built her success on genuine connection and honest sharing of her real life. She proved that people want authenticity, and they'll support creators who give it to them. Moving on to what we can learn from all this. Lyric's story shows us that you can build meaningful connections through digital platforms, create successful businesses from creativity and determination, and find joy in simple moments with the people you love. So here we are at the end of Lyric and Deuce's story, and I hope y'all understand why this case matters so much. This ain't just about one family's tragedy. This is about recognizing that behind every social media profile is a real person with real relationships, real dreams, and real love to share. Lyric's life showed us that success isn't just measured in follower counts or business profits, but in the genuine relationships we build and the positive impact we have on others. The tragedy of February 9th, 2024, took away a loving mother, a successful entrepreneur, and a beloved community member. But it also left us with important lessons about the dangers hiding in our own homes, the value of authentic connection, and the importance of cherishing every moment with our loved ones. As we remember Lyric and Deuce, we need to check our carbon monoxide detectors, prioritize genuine relationships over digital metrics, and never take for granted the time we have with the people we love. I said what I said. Their story continues to touch lives and potentially save others through increased awareness about carbon monoxide safety. In a world that often feels disconnected despite all our digital connectivity, Lyric showed us that authentic human connection is still possible, still valuable, and still the foundation of any meaningful success. Girl, this story reminds us that life can change in an instant, so we better make sure we're protecting ourselves and the people we love while we still can. Subscribe to Trending Tragedies for more stories that matter. Hit that like button and comment below. Did you have carbon monoxide detectors before this? Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Stay safe, y'all. Period.